Aliens is a 1986 science fiction action film written and directed by James Cameron. It is the sequel to the 1979 science fiction horror film Alien and the second film in the Alien franchise. Aliens was very popular when it came out, and its popularity has grown over the decades, creating a strong fan base. Aliens movie contains all the ingredients of success: excitement, horror, action, and the movie is really well made. The background of the movie Aliens may be a bit unfamiliar to many. Similarly, many may wonder why the movie Aliens is not named Alien 2. After Ridley Scott's 1979 Alien, a sequel was planned. During the production of the Alien movie in 1978, the ending of the first Alien movie was already planned in such a way that it would allow for a direct sequel. One key idea was that an extra Xenomorph or Xeno egg would have been left in the structures of the Narcissus shuttle. Ridley Scott had different visions for the sequel, but in the end, Ridley Scott didn't get to make the sequel because the film company did not believe in its success in the early 1980s. Finally, after a couple of years, the sequel got the green light, but Ridley Scott was not asked to direct or write the sequel, which Scott has later expressed his annoyance about. The sequel was not produced right away, although Ciro Ippolito from Italia managed to do it first. In 1980, he directed the unofficial sequel Alien 2 on Earth, originally titled Alien 2 Sulla Terra. This sequel is a low-budget movie that has nothing to do with the Alien franchise. 20th Century Fox sued the director Ippolito for $10 million for using the Alien name in the film, but since the Alien name was already commonly used in works, 20th Century Fox could not do anything about it, and the film called Alien 2 remained in film history under the name of the Italian director. The realization of the official sequel was hindered by a lawsuit between 20th Century Fox and Brandywine that started in 1980. It was about dividing the profits of the movie Alien. It wasn't until 1983 that the lawsuit was settled and 20th Century Fox agreed to finance a sequel to the Alien movie, which would allow Brandywine to recoup some of the profits from the Alien movie. This arrangement was really profitable for Brandywine, as the $18 million invested in the movie Aliens brought in $183 million. In the summer of 1983, James Cameron was attached to the project to write the screenplay. Walter Hill and David Giler originally wanted to reshoot the Spartacus movie as a sci-fi version, which eventually turned into writing the screenplay for Alien 2. Cameron very quickly wrote a 42-page treatment version of Alien 2, which was based on the Alien Mother story he had written years earlier. Due to various reasons and pressures, the development of the script took until 1985, when the film finally began to be shot. By this time, Alien 2 had changed to Aliens. The name change happened when James Cameron had written Alien on the board in one of the meetings and added a dollar letter at the end, as a sign of 20th Century Fox's decision to start financing the film. This video series focuses on the first Aliens movie version, 1983, more specifically the Alien 2 treatment version. So we see what the official Alien 2 movie would have been like. 1. The Endless Nightmare. The Narcissus shuttle flies through space until a large shadow covers it. The shuttle door starts to be cut by the cutting torch until a large piece of the door drops to the floor. Men in hazmat suits enter and approach the hypersleep capsule on the shuttle, where Warrant Officer Ripley, sole survivor of the Nostromo, sleeps. Ripley is dreaming. In the dream, Ripley is running down the hallway of the Nostromo with a flamethrower. She runs hysterically from corridor to corridor. Finally, around the corner, she sees an airlock. Ripley runs to the door and presses the door open button. The door begins to open. It's dark inside. Something scary is waiting there. Within the darkness, a silhouetted shape rises with slow, inhuman grace. Ripley screams. Ripley wakes up to find herself in a dark hospital room. She looks around, drenched in sweat. The monitor above Ripley lights up and the med tech on the screen asks if everything is okay. Ripley nods. Med tech asks if Ripley was having nightmares again. Ripley again nods and says she wants to see Dr. O'Neill's. Later, Dr. O'Neill tells Ripley that she has only been on Earth Satellite Station Beta for a few days and is still suffering from the natural side effects of extended time in hypersleep. Ripley wonders why she's been having the same nightmare for 60 years, even though humans shouldn't be dreaming in cryosleep. The conversation turns to Ripley's daughter, who lives in Oregon. Ripley asks if her daughter is coming to see her. Dr. O'Neill reminds that Ripley's daughter is 70 years old, and because of that, she can't travel to space easily. Dr. O'Neill shares that Ripley must go see her daughter herself when Ripley is released from the station. Ripley is delighted when Med Tech brings Jones the cat to Ripley. Dr. O'Neill tells her to sleep because Ripley has a hearing tomorrow. Med Tech helps Ripley make a video call to her daughter. The call is short and devastating. Ripley remembers her daughter when she was 10 years old before Ripley left for the trip, and she is not prepared to hear the old woman's accusations. Ripley's daughter, now an old woman, icily accuses her of abandoning her when she chose her life in space. Ripley ends the call. Ripley makes her way through the hospital complex to an artificially landscaped atrium. She sits under a tree and watches as Jones chases the birds. Her mind is filled with sadness. Even though she survived and the others didn't, she doesn't feel like a survivor or a winner. The beginning is a little different compared to the movie in many ways. In the 1983 version, instead of having a nightmare about chestburster, Ripley runs through the corridors of the Nostromo and encounters the alien. Ripley has had the same nightmare throughout her cryosleep. Unlike the movie, Ripley has drifted in space for 60 years. Also, unlike the Alien Special Edition version, in the 1983 version, Ripley's daughter, Amanda Ripley McLaren, is still alive and living on Earth, although her character does not have a name. Ripley contacts her via video phone and finds she is an old, crippled woman. Amanda blames her mother for her absence and ends the call by telling her mother that she hates her. The character of Carter Burke does not exist at all in the 1983 version. His actions and dialogue in the early scenes are instead given to a character called Dr. O'Neill, who was removed from later versions of the script. Gateway Station is called Earth Satellite Station Beta in the 1983 version. While a gateway station is also mentioned, it is the home base for the troops deployed on the mission, and not where Ripley is taken to after being rescued. 2. The board hearing. The new owner of the Nostromo, the ICC, and a few other authorities have started an investigation to find out what happened to the ship 60 years ago. Ripley watches as pictures of the Nostromo crew appear on the wall. Dallas, Kane, Parker, Brett, Lambert, and the traitor, Ash. The ICC investigator reports that Ripley has destroyed the Nostromo ship and the refinery. In addition, no physical evidence of the so-called hostile life form could be found in the shuttle to corroborate Ripley's report. Ripley repeats the summation of the outcome on the Nostromo. The board tells Ripley to wait in the corridor while they make a decision on the matter. In the hallway, Ripley talks to Dr. O'Neill. Freeing her, he wonders how she's doing. No money, low qualification of technologies, and outdated skills. Dr. O'Neill adds that today's commercial ships are fully automated. The crews were laid off years before. He offers to help Ripley find a cheap apartment in Beta. Ripley goes to the boardroom to hear the decision. Skeptical of Ripley's wild story, the board revokes her commercial license, permanently grounding her. Ripley hears from an extrasolar colonial administration official that the planetoid has had a Class C mining and terraforming colony for 30 years without any problems or dangerous life forms. Planetoid has 50 families, 10 TRW atmosphere processors, and the air is breathable. Ripley warns him that those families may be in great danger, but he enters an elevator and the doors close in her face. Ripley's hearing is very similar in the 1983 version, as in the film. However, there are a few differences from the movie. One detail concerns the Weyland-Yutani company. In the 1983 version, the company is still called Weyland-Yutani. It is the original name of the company from Alien 1979 movie. In later scripts, the letter D was added to the end of the company name Weyland, and as such, the company name has appeared in all films since then. Also in 1983 version, while Ripley was drifting in hypersleep, the company has been bought and has a new owner. Other differences compared to the movie. Ripley is made to wait outside the room where the inquest is held while the board comes to their decision. When they strip Ripley of her flight status, O'Neill offers to help her find an apartment on Station Beta,